We have some breaking news. The Los Angeles Lakers have just robbed the NBA. And while everyone thought that Rob Pelinka was asleep at the wheel, he pulls off an absolute steal of a signing. We're going to break down exactly what that signing is, discuss why it's a steal, and discuss what this means going forward for this Lakers team. Folks, this was one that came out of nowhere. So stay tuned all the way till the end of the video. But before we get into it all, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, quick reminder to hit the subscribe button. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable. You guys have been beasts. Hunter, this one came out of nowhere, and there was some links in the past to Marcus Smart and the Los Angeles Lakers, but it seemed that ship had sailed a little bit because the Wizards weren't willing to buy him out. And everything just changed about 30 seconds ago. You can see this right here breaking. Marcus Smart has agreed to a contract buyout with the Wizards and intends to sign a 2-year, $11 million deal with the Lakers and return to a grand stage of former NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Now, I want to get your thoughts on this, but the biggest reason that this is so surprising to me, at least, I didn't think the Wizards were actually going to go through and ultimately, buy him out, but they did not have to give up any assets to acquire this player. Of course, 2 years, $11 million, a very reasonable contract, and you get the point of attack defender that everybody wanted, that the Lakers desperately needed. You didn't have to give up any assets, and not only does this open up more moves, potentially if Rob Pelinka wants to, still have a ton of expiring contracts, they get themselves exactly what they needed. I absolutely love the deal.
Yeah, I think the point you have to bring up, Nick, is this was somebody who we thought the Lakers could trade for, right? We thought they were going to give up assets maybe to get Marcus Smart. I guess he becomes available for the Lakers and the rest of the NBA, and he decides to come here to Los Angeles. So pretty ironic, a former Celtic here now is going to be playing in the purple and gold. I mean, the last time that happened was at Rajon Rondo, and that led to a championship. So hopefully the same year for the Lakers. But Marcus Smart, he brings what this team needs. One, he's tough, right? This is a dude that plays with his heart on his sleeve. He's a winner. He's going to put up, doesn't always put up the best numbers, though. That's a solid offensive game, but it's really the stuff that you don't see on the stat sheet, and that is what Marcus Smart does well. Of course, you saw it there. Shams Charania highlighting a former defensive player of the year just a handful of seasons ago. And this is somebody who is going to bring a winning attitude to the Lakers locker room. He's also older as well, like in his early 30s right now. So I want to bring in guys. If I was the Lakers, who gives a crap about this rebuild stuff? We have Luka Doncic. We have LeBron James. Let's bring in guys that want to come in here and compete for a championship. Marcus Smart fits that need. He's going to be that point of attack on-ball defender that's going to be, tough, gritty, physical. You lose some of that losing Dorian Finney-Smith. Now you have someone like that in Marcus Smart. And I think that, like you said, the Lakers might not be done. They still have I'm assuming this will probably take up the biannual exception. Perhaps Shake Milton could get bought out in any minute from now. And the Lakers still have expiring contracts. They still have first-round picks. They still have someone like Dalton Knecht, perhaps, although his trade value might not be the best right now. But they do have options to still improve this roster. Marcus Smart does check off a big box for them.
Yeah, I mean, again, the buyout's the big deal here. I wanted to bring this up because this was an article that I covered, but there was multiple trade talks about Marcus Smart and how, the Lakers would have to give up. Ultimately, wouldn't have been too much, right? Expiring in a second-round pick, but the Lakers need to save as many second-round picks, as many first-round picks they possibly can as they, try to get another player. Looking at his stats last year, of course, in the 2024-2025 season, finished the year averaging a total of 9 points a game. And, of course, his offense was down a little bit, especially given the fact that, he was hurt for a little bit, but also with Washington, 15 games. We see a lot of players go to Washington, have a bit of an offensive either fall off or increase depending on, what their role is. But we think back to even 2022, his last year with Boston, really, really good. His first year with Memphis, albeit only in 20 games, really, really good. Won Defensive Player of the Year literally 2 years ago, which is even better. He's just at a point now where, can he hit threes? That's going to be the biggest question for Marcus Smart, of course. Well, he's going to be able to actually shoot the basketball? That's, of course, going to be the biggest thing. And you can see here some very interesting notes from Shams that came out, 2 minutes ago. Of course, 3-time all-defense first-team guard. He will have a player option on his new Lakers deal to enter a more flush 2026 free agency. He's a point-of-attack defender. Of course, we knew that. But Doncic recruited and reached out to Marcus Smart on this one. And clearly, Rob Pelinka is making sure that Doncic has clear, direction with the whole way that this team is going. But literally last year, the year before last, he still put up almost 15 points a game for a Memphis Grizzlies team that was trying to compete. So I think he still has it in him. A very solid, underrated, not necessarily underrated, but a decent facilitator as well when given the opportunity. I think it's a very good fit and quite frankly replaces not what Dorian Finney-Smith necessarily does in the same way, but almost equal value as it pertains to specifically the defensive side of the ball, even though it's in a bit of a different way with, of course, Marcus Smart being a guard.
Yeah, and when you have guys like Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves on your team, look, they're going to give you a lot of offense. They're not going to give you a lot defensively. So you need to have some guards that can really play at a high level in the defensive end. And that's exactly what Marcus Smart does. He is somebody who does not need a lot of touches to be a efficient, good player for this team. I love it. And like you said, Nick, if they gave up Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleba, and a 2032 second round pick, I wouldn't hate it. That wouldn't be a horrible deal. The only thing I will say, Rob Pelinka still loves giving out these player options, and he did it again for this one. Seeing how all these teams are, giving these non-guaranteed deals, and Rob Pelinka's just throwing a player option on there. I don't love that, but look, the money's not bad. Marcus Smart, I mean, clearly he's going to be in here the next couple of years. Again, it clears up their salary cap for 2027, which everyone keeps talking about with this Lakers team. So he fits right on the timeline. And he's someone who I think is going to bring a winning attitude to his locker room, bring some toughness to this team. So I think this is a pretty good move, a smart move. We're going to pun intended here for the Lakers.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned, let's quickly go over that. The player option, Rob Pelinka loves handing him out. The good news is the floor for Marcus Smart, like there's no world where he's I don't think a negative asset at the 5.56 million just because of how good of a defender he is. If he gets injured, then, maybe a different story, but I think his value can at least be, good enough, especially in a world where, Gabe Vincent's making the MLE, all these different things where players, Maxi Kleber's making however much, $10, $11 million a year. Regardless of that, they can now go ahead and, like you mentioned earlier, potentially move off of a guy like Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber. They have Dalton Knecht. They have also Bronny James, who can learn from Marcus Smart. A bit similar in the sense of they're both going to be on-ball defenders and things like that. I think there's some intangibles there. And as you look at the team, of course, this graphic was posted before they officially signed, so the projected salary, all that's a little bit off. But just looking at the starting five, that's going to remain intact. The bench now, I want to get your quick thoughts before I wrap up. I mean, you assume Marcus Smart's going to be the sixth man. You have a guy in Jake LaRavia who can be I'm very high on, 10 to 15 point per game scorer, I believe, in the Lakers system. Other than that, you don't really have much. We assume Shake Milton's going to be gone. Dalton Knecht has looked not very good in Summer League. Bronny James looked really good in the Summer League. Will he get continuous reps? That's the big question. Scoring is still a problem off of the bench, and they went with an option that doesn't necessarily increase that a ton, albeit definitely helps the overall outlook of the team. And I would not be surprised if there's games where we see Marcus Smart, play 30 minutes a game, significant minutes depending on the matchup. Maybe even start some games. Obviously, going to be hard to do with Luka and Reaves there at the 1-2, but it's going to be. I think he's going to have a huge role, similar to what he did in Boston and especially in Memphis in his very short time there, 30 minutes a game.
And he's a guard that can honestly play with Luka and Austin Reaves too. Like he has that, he's big, he's physical, he's got a long wingspan. Like Marcus Smart can guard a lot of different guys on the court. So that is actually something that is good for Lakers. They have a guard who can play with their backcourt. Like I consider that a win. And this might take him out of like the D'Anthony Melton sweepstakes, I'm assuming. It might take him out of Gary Payton II. That was someone the Lakers were rumored to. But I think Marcus Smart, defensively is better than both those guys. So I think for the Lakers, this is a solid move. Again, I personally like seeing them go with a more veteran guy because, look, when you have LeBron and Luka Doncic, two generational talents, I don't know why you're not going for it. You should be going for a championship. And I think Marcus Smart, him getting traded away and then the Celtics winning a championship without him, I think that's got to put some sort of chip on his shoulder, and hopefully that helps the Lakers win some basketball games.
Yeah, let us know below your thoughts are on the signing. Some big news. More moves are to come. We'll keep you up to date. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.